Hi, I'm Starstrike, the Senior Executive of DevPro,
Hi, I'm AccessDenied, the Public Relations and Programming.
and today we're going to talk to you about a few things going on with DevPro, where it came from, where it is today, and where we plan to go with it in the future, just so everyone has a pretty general idea of what we're doing.
This video is mostly a message to the YugiTuber community, as we've been looked over and pretty much ignored the last couple of months, even though we've been trying to reach out. So we're coming to you on your level.
So basically, we'll start off with what YGOPro is. YugiTuber is an automatic dueling system. Now, for anyone who's played the Tag Force games, it'll come pretty familiar to you. You have your deck editor. You can duel people in kind of the same fashion as on Tag Force. The only thing is you don't have your animations, the monsters and characters, things like that. It's just like dueling.
It's pretty basic. At its core, it's a C++ Lua scripting engine. It's kind of like YVD more so than it is like DN. It's by a Chinese programmer by the name of Arrogant Sun and his programming team called Floor Hydrate. It's open source, so it's free to download and it's free to mod, and a number of people have done so, including us.
Now, the way dueling goes, you can duel two different ways. You can duel on your LAN, do your own internal network with friends, maybe so you have a friend over, they have a computer, you want to play with them, or you could play on a server that's hosted by us at DevPro, or you could play on one of the other systems. There's Percival's version, and we'll go over the other versions that we have out there later on. So we used to have to play with Hamachi. Now, people who first got into YugiOPro probably remember this. It was Hamachi or Komodo, Tungle, something like that. But since we've instated using dual servers, we don't have to do that anymore.
The software is developed by a guy named YugiTuber. Now, DevPro doesn't use the specific build. We have something a little bit more advanced. But that software is freely available if you'd like to run your own server and help the progress.
Basically, we found that the dual server software was a little premature and could use a lot of work. So we took it upon ourselves to hire a programmer that was good with the server software programming, and we made our own version of the server that was more suitable for our needs.
I wouldn't say hire. He randomly showed up and gave it to us.
Okay. Randomly showed up and gave it to us. He doesn't really show up a lot, but when he does, we certainly enlist his services.
Now, the community, they're all Yu-Gi-Oh players, but they're all programmers also. And the way we work is based on merit. And what we do is we provide resources for programmers that want to help out Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh Pro helps us because it teaches you how to duel better. For anybody that has gone onto an online system from just playing regular cards, they know that this happened. But with Yu-Gi-Oh Pro, it's on a higher level because you're learning rulings also.
Exactly. That is one of the biggest arguments between using Yu-Gi-Oh Pro and using Dueling Network. People say, well, Dueling Network is more like real-life dueling. You have to do everything manually. Well, that's great if you're learning the game and you'd like to play slower, but the people who have been playing the game for a long time, who know the rules, would just like to be able to get in the game and play and not have to worry about someone cheating or moving too slowly, or worry about cards moving slowly. You pretty much just want to play somebody, get through a duel, and get on to the next person.
Now, you may say you know your rulings, so this isn't a problem for you, and you're going to end up dueling the same group of people. You're never going to learn anything innovative from, say, somebody less experienced that knows something that you don't. And that is a possibility. Combos happen. Miracles happen.
Exactly. Now, The way we try and run DevPro is we have our programmers, we have our executive staff, we have public relations, we have chat staff, we have people who run the forums. So we try and keep everything pretty tight-knit so everyone can communicate with everybody when it's needed to. We found that having a tight-knit administrative group is best for getting things done and not having to worry about where somebody is, why they're not doing anything, and with us, things just get done.
The staff is actually very large. It is tight-knit. We have about 5 or 6, I think, senior officers, including ourselves, and we speak with the other groups because it's more than just DevPro. There are other places. But right now we're kind of ahead of the game in some aspects, and we're always around the chat. We always outsource and try to bring in new talent, and we pay attention to what goes on online. We monitor our website, and we go to forums and give tech support. And right now we're trying to give it to the YugiTuber community because you guys are having so much difficulty. It's pathetic.
Basically, I agree. A lot of the YugiTubers find that they have to pick a game system based on what their fans like. So, if the fans like them playing on Dueling Network, then if they want to keep those fans, they have to keep playing on Dueling Network. Well, that's not entirely fair to you guys. You guys should be able to play where you want to play and not have to worry about who likes it or who's going to stop watching you because you choose a different system to play on.
Also, nobody likes to embarrass themselves, and by playing on DN, you give the chance that you're going to embarrass yourself with a misplay. Also, you could be in the course of doing something, and the person just rage quits on you, or you end up having to call in the admin, and then you have that whole Buster incident.
Yeah, or you end up with the guy who's losing and decides he's going to draw out 30 cards of his deck and play an entire field full of cards and just sit there and wait for you to call an admin so you can wait 20 minutes for them to come and resolve your issue. On DevPro, YGOPro, you don't have to worry about that. If someone starts cheating, it's not even possible. You can't play cards as you like. You can only play cards you are able to play. If you can't activate a spell card at a certain time, unless you got Pot of Avarice in your hand, and you've only got 4 cards that are monsters in your grave, you can't activate it. That's all there is to it. There's no cheating. If someone starts to lose, they can just quit, or they can surrender. There's a timer. If someone wants to stall in a duel, can't do that either. If the time limit runs out, you get 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Timer runs out, they're declared the loser and the game's over. On Dueling Network, if someone stalls, you have to call an admin, you have to wait for them to come and kick them out for stalling. We at DevPro, YGOPro, all try to enforce these points to all of the community, including the YugiTubers, that these are things you don't have to worry about when you come play on YugiOPro.
Also, for high-level players, you still have these problems. You're still going to run into these problems even versus other high-level players. Things might get drawn out, and that's a problem. But also, if you work and you're going to be on for a very short period of time, say an hour and 30 minutes, you can squeeze more games into YugiOPro than you can to Dueling Network. A single on Dueling Network might take you 20 to 30 minutes. You could probably play 4 games on YugiOPro.
Exactly. Another thing is that whenever you're done with your duel on YugiOPro, you're able to save your replay of that duel. Basically, it's a text file that saves every move that was made during the duel, and you can play this replay. If you have a screen recorder, you can record the duel and then upload it to your YouTube. And it's a great feature for YugiTubers because that's pretty much what you guys do. You can choose to go on, you can sit there and have your screen recorder going, talk with your community while you have a live stream and duel. Or, if you feel like not doing a live stream, you can do a couple duels, record them with your screen recorder. I recommend Microsoft Expression Screen Recorder to save your duel and then upload it to your channel for people to watch as well. And the duels are only going to be about 5 minutes long. Maybe not even that if the duel ended pretty quickly.
Now, also, if you had an amazing duel that showed off a specific combo, you can save it. Also, there's a special cheat mode in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro where you can teach combos. It makes it much simpler. So if you had an amazing duel, you could just save it and upload it later. You can get more videos online to kind of fill in the spaces, which means more money for you guys.
Oh yes, making money from YouTube for uploading videos of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! That's quite an amazing
games that you would play anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wish I could do that, but I think I'm gonna need a few more videos for that. Next, are the different kind of Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro systems to play. There's actually quite a few out there that we probably shouldn't even have. Everyone should just be together, but unfortunately they're not. First off, we'll start off with yours truly, DevPro.
We're awesome.
Yes, we're definitely awesome. That's what we've been told. We run on Percival's Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro version because he translates it, adds in the modifications like the sound, full screen, things like that. There's Dawn of a New Era, which a lot of people are familiar with. We actually branched off of them because of poor administration and decided to create DevPro. And they're pretty much a launcher system as well, just a lot more basic. Next you have the base creator of the translated version, Percival 18. He has a game server in his system with a room browser. You can go on and do on his servers, but you don't get quite the features that we have. We have our chat, the file manager, YouTube tab, ranking tab to view everyone's rankings that have played and ranked, and easy access to deck editing, replays, and different settings like that that make playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro a lot more convenient.
Also, Percival has a Mac version, so if you're using Mac, this would be the native version to use.
And I actually just read that Percival's working on a native version for Ubuntu.
Oh yeah, that shouldn't take much longer because you're really just compiling it.
Yeah, he had showed a screenshot that I guess he had it up and running. It's probably not running completely full, but I saw the main menu, so it's definitely a step. The next thing is the way the games are updated. Percival 18's Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro has an auto-updater built into it. He actually just put this in recently. It'll notify you that a new version is available so you can go on and download it. And he usually uploads just an update-only version, so you just copy over the new files to the old ones, and you get your update. Dawn of a New Era does not have an updater whatsoever. I don't think they've ever heard of one. When they update the game, they upload the full version, which is another 300 megabytes. You have to go on, you have to download the entire thing again. Even if it's just
from deposit files.
From deposit files, exactly. One of the slowest file sharers online. Even when I've told them somewhere else to host it, they choose not to. I don't get it. DevPro, when the game runs, every time you run the launcher, the game automatically checks for updates. If there's an update, it'll show updating DevPro. And it'll download the update, it'll extract the update for you, and then it'll attempt to run the game again. If there's an update again, it will download that update, rinse and repeat until there's no more updates available.
Thus, if you ever have any version of DevPro, you will always have the newest version of DevPro.
Exactly. There's not any time you have to worry about not having cards or images or anything like that. You're always going to be up to date with the latest cards that everyone else has. I try to keep the installer updated with the latest version. That way people don't have a ton of updates to download. I remember that because I made the mistake of not updating it for a while, and when I did download it for myself on my new operating system, I was downloading updates for about 10 minutes. I was like, well, that's got to change. So I went ahead and updated it to the latest version at the time, and there's hardly any updates that have been downloaded for it, but I'm going to update it again.
This exemplifies the fact that we are always around. We're always sitting in the chat, at least one senior staff member of all hours of the day. It's an international group. We have people that help us out from as far as Thailand.
Oh yeah, we got people all over the world that want to come and help, and they even, they're new to the system, and they're like, oh my god, how can I help? What can I do? Some of them
Not being an admin.
oh my god, can I be admin? And we're like, well, you need to actually do something helpful to be admin. We're not just going to hire every Tom, Dick, and Harry that asks.
Yeah, just because you know your rulings doesn't make you an admin. It doesn't make you admin material, period.
Exactly. Now, one of the great things about having us around is there's always someone to report a problem to. Yes, YGOPro is beta. It's probably always going to be beta because Yu-Gi-Oh itself is never going to be done. It's never going to be final. Always going to be new cards, always going to be new rulings, new mechanics. Look at Xyz. No one even thought of that, but Synchros were out. Synchros. New mechanics come out, new things come out. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro is beta, and it's going to probably always be. There's always going to be maybe a problem with a ruling, a card not working as it should. That's why we're around, so people can report those bugs, and we can get them fixed as soon as we can, or include it with the next update that we have, so you get a bunch of fixes and new cards at once.
Now, as far as card ruling errors, I have to say, please check your rulings first before you report a bug, or you consider that it does not do the rulings properly. If you go back and you look at your replays, you'll probably notice a thing or two. But most new bugs are for new cards, because DevPro focuses on getting the cards out fast like DN does. Sometimes we exceed them. So sometimes the rulings haven't even been written yet, and we have to go back and change stuff.
Oh yeah, we're releasing cards that are probably 2 to 3 sets ahead, and the translations are going to change. We can only go by what we find. So we go to Wikia, we see if they have their English translation of. If they do, we go with that. Now, if that changes, well, if we don't know it, we have to be notified of it so we can change the card itself. I think I looked over 2 cards earlier. Heart Earth Dragon, number 53, that card text was updated. So that's a card that's going to need to be updated, and I've already alerted the card programmer that need to be changed. So things like that happen, but
we have written new software. Arrogant Sun likes to leave lots of little programs around, and we've found quite a few of them and modified and updated, and in some cases just started over anew using the logic. And we have those on our website. So if you want to help us out by creating cards, you can.
Right. Anyone who knows LUA scripting and knows how to use the DevPro Card Manager, now I'm sure a lot of you have seen this in the folder as of one of the latest updates, but that card is used...
Please no created cards.
Right. No created cards. That program is used to modify the card database, add cards, modify them. No deleting, because there's nothing to be deleted, but no created cards. If you want to help, you can make legitimate cards that are not in the database, and you can send your update card database to one of us, and we can merge the changes to the one we have.
Now, thanks to a group called ADS, we now have anime cards. Percival worked with ADS and got us that. But right now we're limiting them to 5D's era. We're not taking Zexal era because we're going to give Konami a chance to create those cards.
Right. There's a lot of cards out in Zexal there in the anime that we don't have right now because, well, they're still making them. So we put in the 5D's cards, and some of the cards from the original series, like even cards that I wanted, like Dark Renewal, things like that. Those are pretty good cards that we put in. And some people ask, well, this anime card's missing. We can't get to them all. We can't. There's really not a list of cards out there that are in the anime that we could just read and put in. So if someone wants a card, all you gotta do is ask for it, and we'll look for it. We'll try and get it in and get it programmed. We can only go by what people are telling us. We don't sit around all day and look, oh my god, is this card in here? Is this card in here? Well, let's go through the 6,400 cards that we have and see what's not in here that could be. It would take forever.
Yeah. Another thing is that we have more programmers than any other dual system that you probably encountered. More than YVD, probably more than Yu-Gi-Oh! Online 3, definitely more than DN. They have a bunch of useless admins. No offense, guys. It starts with Aragon's son's team, and it goes through Percival's team and down to our team. Now we have about 25 to 30 people just around us that help out and take in reports and do tech support and all types of stuff. And then you have other languages that are helping us out. And then we have sister servers. Excluding Dawn, we all work together.
Very good thing working together.
Yeah, Dawn's a very sad child.
One of the last things that I want to go ahead and mention is if you go on the Dueling Network, you go on their forums, and you're going to look for a thread about requested features. And they're going to list off to you features that they're not going to add. Now, a couple features were on there that they ended up adding anyway, like the counter support, adding counters to cards, because we have a lot of cards out there that use counters. They finally got around to adding that by using poker chips. I don't know why, but it worked. There's also a lot of features that they have that they're not going to be adding, like tag dueling. They're never going to do it, ever. They've already said that they're never going to do it. YGOPro, tag dueling has been in for probably going on a year, and it's very simple. It's based off of Tag Force rules. You have one field, one graveyard, 2 extra decks, 2 decks, and 2 hands. Basically, you and your partner play on the same field using your own separate cards. You could play off of your partner's cards. If a card in the graveyard that's not yours goes back into the deck, it goes back into the current player's deck. So you might end up getting your partner's cards. That could be useful. I try to avoid that myself because I like my synchros and I like being able to use them properly. Another feature,
I like my Ori Calcos.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want that. Another feature.
I like my macro.
Yeah, and that would not work in my deck. Another feature that is good that we have is cards work like they should. They just work. There's a page on Dueling Network about card workarounds for cards that don't work. I quote that, don't work on Dueling Network. Like Convulsion of Nature or Exchange. You can't exchange cards in your hand, so you have to remove the card from play and just take the card and use it whenever you want. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. You just say, I'm going to use this card now, you can put it in the grave. That's stupid. On YGOPro, if you use Exchange, you look at each other's hands, you pick a card, and it switches hands. That's
just like the card says.
Just like the card says. It's that simple. Convulsion of Nature, they say you need to banish top card of your deck every time you draw, turn off auto draw, and do all this weird, wacky stuff that is just ridiculous for one card. On YGOPro, when you activate Convulsion of Nature, the deck just flips over. It just flips. There's no need to remove any cards from play. There's no need to banish top card, turning off drawing. The deck just flips over. If Convulsion of Nature is removed from the field, the deck just flips back over. For cards like Parasite, where if it's attacked, you put it in your opponent's deck, and when they draw it, it goes on the field, something like that. I haven't used that card in years, so forgive me for forgetting what it does. But I do remember that part. When that card happens on YGOPro, it just goes in the opponent's deck, and when they draw it,
Face up.
Field. It works as it's supposed to work. Like Pharaoh's Treasure. You can't put a card face up in your deck in Dueling Network. On YGOPro, you can. When you flip Pharaoh's Treasure, it just goes in your deck face up. When you draw it, the effect activates like it should. YGOPro has no problem running any single card that we have put into the game, as long as it's programmed correctly. I say that because there are going to be cards in there that aren't programmed correctly, and they will need fixes. Once they're fixed and they work correctly, they will work no problem, just like dueling in real life. It's just with a little bit of automation for you. Life points deduct for you, monsters are attacked, and life point damage is calculated for you. You know, all stuff that professional players don't have to worry about or shouldn't have to worry about if you just want to go on and play people.
it really saves you lots of time, and it saves you lots of money. And that's another thing that tubers haven't addressed is the meta of online and the evolution of online. Y'all really need to look into that.
Yeah, the game, how it's changing, requires a lot of changes to the programs that we use. Dueling Network, YGOPro, YVD is pretty much dead. So when you think...
Oh, speaking of that, we hail from there.
YVD, right. I actually was on Zero Creative back in about 2009, 2010 is when I found Zero Creative, and I played on YVD, and for its time, it was probably the best game out there to play on. They were the most popular. They had the best dueling system, they had IRC chat, and you had to duel via IP addresses. Insecure, but people did it because most people were like, oh, I'm just playing Yu-Gi-Oh! They can't do anything to me. But it's definitely past its time. Dueling Network surpassed them way long ago. About 2 years Dueling Network's been out now, I think. And
when Exceeds came out, the competition was over because Exceed just stopped trying.
Right. You can't even properly Exceed summon on YVD. You can manually move the cards to overlay, but it's a little silly.
I have to give a shout out to JDS for them trying. Personally, I used to be a clan owner for VOW. I was there for a very long time since the clan moved over from MOL till when it died off. And I've written articles that have shown up on TCG Player about online duel systems that are probably gone by now. But I've played the system YVD for a very long time. I just play solitaire with myself, and that's another thing that you can do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro is you can play against yourself with proper rulings and just go straight through a duel. You can open up 2 instances and play yourself and test your gauntlet, or you could do a puzzle, or you could send somebody a puzzle and say, win this in 2 moves or so.
Yeah, it's another one of those features that Dueling Network won't add, solitaire mode, because I guess it would just be too difficult to just open up an empty field and let you just play your cards like you can do in a real duel with somebody. I don't get it, but okay. I remember having a clan on Zero Creative. Got shut down because I advertised my IRC server and they didn't like it.
Dummy.
Yeah, it's gone. But I'm okay with that. I did have a good war.
Back to DevPro. GN has ranking. We're the only Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro server that has ranking. John doesn't count.
We have proper ranking, and we don't have to open up this huge MMO page on where you get so many ranks you can buy stuff. No.
Ours keeps track of how often you rage quit, how many times Exodia kicks your ass. What else does it keep track of? Every type of lose condition. Oh, if you stall.
It's track of rage quits, final countdown, Herakti, Destiny board, Destiny Leo, how many times you surrendered or they surrendered. These go for both.
Last turn.
Time limit up, Exodia, Venomanaga, excuse me. Last turn and unknown, we don't know why you lost or you won.
So you can scope your opponent a little bit.
Yeah, and you can view the profile of anyone you want in the chat. You right-click their name, and you can view their profile. And
you can also send a duel request.
Yeah, I was just actually going to say that. On the right-click menu, you can add somebody as a friend. Yeah, we have a friends list and an ignore list. So if somebody's your buddy, you can add them to the friends list and get a little notification when they come online or when they go offline. And you can request duels. You just simply right-click their name, hit request duel, and it'll come up with a box saying someone has challenged you to a duel with these rulings, and you can hit OK, and it will open up the game for you, connect you both to a game, then you just have to choose your deck and hit start. Very useful feature I think a lot of people have liked and used. and you can customize your dual request settings, or you can even choose to auto-decline dual requests. Now, like me, I don't like people just send me random dual requests when I'm in the middle of doing something else. If I wanted a duel, I would be hosting a duel and I would just play. So I turn that off. Don't ask me to duel.
The chat's customizable also in appearance.
Yes, colors. You can change the colors, the backgrounds, names, text. All that stuff can customize to your liking. I like black. Basic black background.
I'm colorblind, so I just turned all that stuff off. There's a setting for that.
Yeah, he's colorblind. So he sees everything in black and white like a dog. I'm just kidding. He probably does that. Another great feature that we have that no other YugiOPro system has is, wait for it, Duel Bots. They're very beta, but when they are on, you can request a duel with them. They will join a duel. They have to join first in order for it to work because they have to accept the game. So if they don't join first, just close out the game, they'll leave it out too, and you just try again. The duels start, and they're pretty basic right now, but they will actually duel with you. They talk a lot, saying, I draw, and I set a card, and I end my turn.
Great for you anime levels.
Yeah, I end my turn. Things like that. That is pretty neat. It's a pretty nice touch. But it's actually a great way to test out combos, not have to worry about playing somebody using a net deck or something you play all the time. Or if you just want to play for, the hell of it and beat a bot up. You're angry, you're having a bad day, you just beat a bot up. That's what I did.
Yeah, like an Exodia bot.
Yeah, I beat the shit out of Dumbledore, and he was using a Final Countdown deck, and he lost miserably. But they're a lot of fun, and they're in beta, so they're going to have a lot of problems, but we are trying to work on them and trying to get them better, so people would have like an AI to play. Like a lot of people have requested, is there an AI? Will there ever be an AI? Well, that's exactly what we're trying to work on. We have a lot of different projects that we're trying to work on. So things are going to take a little bit of time. But as for the ones that we have now, they're a lot of fun to play. If you want to find them, when they're on the chat, they have bot in brackets in front of their name. They're like bot earth, bot wind, bot ice. So you'll be able to find them and request a duel with them. And they can duel more than one person at a time. But try not to bombard them. If you see they're in like 5 duels or something like that, try and give them a little break before hosting another duel with them, because they can get quite busy, and sometimes they just rage quit, or because they don't know what to do. They do that. They get mad.
Now, as a testament to our sister servers, because we do love them, even Dawn to some weird extent. Actually, it's more like a love-hate relationship. But anyway, the Thai server is working on a web version that's pretty nice that they're helping us out with also. So yes, we do listen. Percival is working on graphics, and he has a new site up, and you can get tech support there also if you're using the Mac version. And if you want Linux, like we said before, he's there. He is an awesome guy. He's fun to talk to when he's around. But he does work, and he works really hard. So we do appreciate him. There's the 2 Phoenix teams. They're awesome. If you ever get a chance to talk with them, if you know Chinese or if you know Spanish, they're great. Seeds of Eternity, they're actually an affiliate, and their translation team is on top of it. And the German team actually merged with us and gave us a server, which we duel on. But in a couple of days, we have a new server on the way, dedicated, and we should be able to host about 1,700? Is that right? 1,700 games at once, or people?
People. About 850, counting the new server, we should be able to have about 1,000 games going at once.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's about 2,000.
We have a user base of about 8,000, but that's just our server.
Yes. DevPro alone has about 8,000 registered accounts. Now, whether some of those accounts are multiple accounts, don't really know that. But we do know we have almost 8,000 registered accounts. Now this is about more than Dueling Network has online playing at one time. While we don't have 8,000 people coming on and playing at one time, our peak hours we do get around 350 to 400 people. Our user count just keeps going up. What we ask of the YugiTuber community is to try to spread the word a little bit more about DevPro. If you've never heard of it, or you've never tried it, and you're kind of reluctant to, give it a shot. You'll find really quick in probably your first duel whether you love it or you hate it. And it's pretty much.
And if you want to come and beat up on us for this, you can do that. Go grab your deck, install it, and we'll be waiting in the chat. Somebody is always there. There's always a senior officer there. We're kind of obvious because we're the only ones that talk and are smart and stuff.
Yeah, I'll play YugiTuber. I've played one before a long time ago. Bus Fair. We're pretty cool. And
you beat the shit out of him.
He misplayed a lot, and he knows it. But we're gonna do it again. We're gonna see who wins. But yeah, if you YouTubers want to come on, you want to play DevPro admins, bring it on. I got one deck.
Well,
I use it well.
Your Yu-Gi-Oh channel did stop me with 7k damage. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, we don't want to repeat that. Don't repeat that. That's okay. But yeah. So basically, YouTubers. After watching this long, 37.
Oh, we forgot the Skynet. We pay attention to everything, every single link. Because we are programmers, we've set up a bit of a Skynet. So if you link to us, we will see that, and we will come, and we will say something. If you have a problem, just put up a video of it. We'll be on our way. Or comment. Wherever we see a link to our site, we will be.
Exactly. So if you guys link to us, even putting a link to it in the description, we're going to see it. And we'll come and, comment on your video, thanks for, linking to us, and we're always around to help you guys. I know you have your fan base to watch out for, and trust me, we would all be honored if we got as many YugiTubers as possible on a DevPro and having their fans follow and playing on DevPro Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro.
So, peace, love, agape, laters.
Yep, and I'm going to go ahead and upload this video. It's like 38 minutes. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. And we do hope to see all of you on DevPro. You can find us in the chat, Starstrike, AccessDenied, Buddies, and we have Collateral Damage, LKS 2, and a few other admins. You'll see them in color. But if you want to say anything to them, you can PM them, or just say something in chat, and we'll be more than likely to respond and help with any problems that you have, especially if you're having a problem getting the game up and running.
And no, we're not going to admin.
What?
No, we're not going to admin you.
Right. Yeah. Don't come on asking for admin. You have to do something important for that. You guys are popular and celebrities on YouTube. That's a wonderful thing to be. I wish I could be that myself, but that doesn't give you the right to come on and say, I'm a YouTuber, make me admin. Not going to work.
Have to be a programmer.
Or do something significant. Now, if
you don't understand that, check out Great Manhattan Falls. He explains it pretty well.
Yeah. So, with that, I bid you all farewell.